What's good, y'all? What's good? It's Brittany J, Toxic Positivity. All right, so so much is going on. So much is going on, and I don't want to talk about everything. The Diddy thing, Hollywood, the Takara and Samira situation, Shxts and Gigs. So I'm not gonna talk about everything, but I do want to talk. The only thing I really want to talk about is Shxts and Gigs right now because that's the most relevant kind of one that's going with my message. All the other stuff is just too crazy. I don't even feel like getting into it. But I'm more so concerned, not concerned, but more so want to talk about the Shxts and Gigs. I actually love Shxts and Gigs, and I'm not gonna cancel them like a lot of people are. Like I see everybody going off and want to cancel them, and whatever. I'm glad it's happening the way it's happening. Sometimes people need that wake up call. James and Fuhad. My thing is, the only thing with me is, and like I've been talking about, what the black community issue is not going to be solved overnight. And like I said, it all goes back to, we have to know who we are. Clearly, James and Fuhad do not know who they are. And they're not the only ones. So the fact that black women are going off on them, and the black community is going off on them, some people are going off on them, some people are not going off on them. The fact is, you're going off on them, and they don't know who they are. And I'm not talking about this as far as a cultural thing. I'm just talking about a regular, they're not in their power. And black women, black men, the people who are mad at them. Let's put it this way. This video is gonna be a little much. I don't know. I'm just saying. In my head, it's a bit much. It's just levels to it. My thing with black women is, look who James and Fuhad are. They're podcasters. They're influencers. They're not revolutionaries. They're not. I'm not even going to say they're intellectuals or stuff like that. And I'm not downing them. I think they're great guys. I love their content. It's funny. It's something I look for when I want to get some shits and gigs, some giggles in, right? Everything don't have to be so serious. So I do appreciate their content. But you're looking for them to do something that they're not, or you expecting them. You're having you expect them to have the capacity for this kind of thing, right? So my thing is, and this is not a diss to them, but they're court jesters. They poke fun at stuff, they laugh at stuff. Like, they're not that serious. You never see them talk about serious topics really like that. So, and what the guy, whatever the white dude's name, Andrew something, whatever, you could tell what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's levels to this thing. But my whole point is, you can't expect protection from people who are not protectors. They are not protectors. They are court jesters. They poke fun, they make fun, they're entertainers. They're not there to protect black women or women, period. So you can't expect something from somebody if that's not who they are. And until they know who they are, they won't be able to do what you're expecting them to do. You can only expect them to do what they do. So that's why I don't really know why people are up in arms about it. I understand. Yes, I do. But this is the problem in our society, is like the expectations of people. Why are we expecting things from people? Right? So then the next point is, and this is just me, and I'm not saying that this has to be for everybody. This is just me, because I know who I am, and I don't identify with certain things anymore. And it doesn't affect me anymore. And that's what I'm trying to get people to get to that point. Like the Andrew guy talking about, oh yeah, black women, they slap you in the face and they talk this and they stress you out, da da da. I don't identify with that. So whatever he says, it doesn't bother me. And I know it's easy to say. It's easier said than done. But that's the point. That's the part where we need to get to. And that's why I say, James and Fuhad don't know who they are. And these black women who are so up in arms and so pissed off about it, the only way that can make you mad is if you identify with that. If you don't identify with that, it shouldn't make you mad. Like, that's his projection. That's his experience with black women. If his black woman was beating his ass and stressing him out, That's his experience. That's not all black women. So that's why I'm like, why is everybody... I understand, but that's why I said we need to start changing our minds and changing our perception, because you're giving your power away with these things. They do these things intentionally for you to do what you're doing. And like on real shit, like all of the shit going down is just like, to me, and this is just me, this is how I move, I just take my energy away from people who don't appreciate me. But that's because I know my value. Black women saying they know their value, but if you know your value, you know what to do. If you know who you are, you know what to do. If this white man is saying, oh, black women are angry, da 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 da, and you don't identify with that, then what he's saying ain't got shit to do with you. I don't identify with that shit, so I don't get mad. And I'm not mad at Fuhad. I'm not mad at James. They got caught up in some shit they wasn't ready for. But you know what would have happened? If they had a black woman on their team, that shit probably wouldn't have happened to them. They probably wouldn't have got canceled. And that goes for anybody. If you got a woman or even a black woman on your team, certain shit just won't happen to you. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. This is a projection. But you got to have the right people on your team. So, like I said, and so this goes back to, I think my previous video, I wanted to coincide. As far as like, I was talking about my aunts. Now, this is where the expectations and stuff come from. Now, I know I made this other video before, like, okay, how we got distorted, how we got taken away from our energy and our whole setup. I don't want to go back too far, but anyway, we don't know our positions. So, we don't know our position, so we don't know who we are. So let me go back to how I was talking about my mom and her sisters and my uncles, how they was raised. So it was 9 of them, 5 girls, 4 boys, right? Yeah, 5 girls, 4 boys. Now, my mother is the oldest, and there's 3. Okay, I'm trying to think in the order. I think there's 2 older girls, then my uncle, then my next aunts, and then my uncle, and then I had like 2 more aunts in between, and then my youngest uncle. So one of my uncles is the youngest, and we got 2 kind of in the middle, right? So they were pretty much raised, like my grandfather wasn't there. He was a mechanic, he was a handyman, he did all kinds of things, but he was never home, barely ever home. So he taught them some things, but he didn't pour into them the way he should have poured into them, right? So pretty much my grandmother, she was the only child. And she got all these kids, right? Raising them pretty much by herself. And they're like raising each other. So like once my mom was born, she was basically helping my grandmother raise the rest of the kids. So that's already trauma, right? So my mother and all the females, even the youngest one, they were all taught to protect the man. Protect the man. Protect the boys. And so you starting this very young. So you're telling me I got to take care of the kids and I got to protect them. I got to protect the boys. So nobody is learning their role because the dad is not there. The mom is there by herself. She's doing everything, right? And then she's teaching her daughters to do everything. So what are the boys learning? Who are the boys learning from? What are they doing? Nothing. They get to be the prince and do nothing, right? So that's pretty much how they were raised. And they passed those lessons on to their kids. Hence why we're all in the same loop. Moses' people in the desert, in the same loop until me. I came along and I'm taking that shit all down. So that, like I said, that goes back to the James and Fuhad situation. And most men in this world, most men in this country. That's how a lot of my friends was raised. One of my best friends, we're not friends anymore, but when we were growing up, it was a double standard. You know, her brother could go out, stay out. They were a year apart. They were a year apart. So we're all about the same age. He would get out to stay out till 12 o'clock in the morning. She had to be in the house when the street lights came on. No matter what age, until we were like in high school. That's how it was the whole time. So, you know, He didn't have to do chores in the house because he was always out. He was a football player. Because they bigged him up. He's going to be this big old football star. Like, they just bigged him up, bigged him up, bigged him up. Poured into him, poured into him, poured into him. Didn't pour anything into the girls. Like, at all. I don't think they poured anything into my friend. I don't remember seeing it. I don't remember hearing about it. Like, nothing. She was just pretty. She was just her looks. And I think the younger sister, they poured into her because she was the baby. So they poured into her. You know, she was a track star or whatever. But she did something with her track star. She had a scholarship. She went to college. She did some shit. The boy didn't do shit. He didn't do shit. He didn't become a football star. He didn't do shit. So you guys poured into him all this time and he produced nothing for you. Nothing. Not a damn thing. So that's just my point. And I know this happens a lot. Even now, I still know women who pour so much into their sons and don't give a shit about their daughters. And I'm just like, that shit is crazy to me. So I pour into all my kids. I pour into all of them. I don't discriminate. I pour into every single one of them. And so okay, I'm not gonna go off track. So then I'm doing more research, right? I'm doing research of indigenous cultures, where I come from, because I'm learning who I am. I know who I am. I'm learning more about my history because it was taken away. So traditionally, in our culture, indigenous culture, I'm not saying all of them, but majority of them, the females were the prize. You know how in modern times now, we give away the bride. No, it used to be in reverse. You didn't give away the bride. You gave away your son. He went off and joined the family. Or if the daughter got married, they welcomed the son into the family. We didn't give our daughters away. We didn't do that. That's not what we did. And shit needs to start changing. Shit needs to start going back to the original nature of our culture. Because we've been so distorted. And that's why we have not had empires. I'm trying to get my empires back. Okay? I am getting my empires back. That's what it is. So, yeah. The expectations. Because we've been so distorted. So that's why I said I'm not mad at James and Fuhad. They don't know. They didn't know. They don't know. A lot of us don't know. This is why it's so important to learn yourself. So anyway, I really feel like real shit. I think everybody needs to take a break. I think everybody needs to be single. Until they learn who the fuck they are. Like real shit. And I know this is like impossible. It's like unheard of. Like people really want to just. But if you really want to elevate, that's what we need to do. If you really want to elevate, you have to be by yourself. Learn who you really are. You can't have no distractions right now. That's what I've been doing the past 2 years. Mostly this year. Just taking away my energy. Attention. I don't give attention to everybody. I don't give attention to everything. My attention is so expensive. People have no idea. It has nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with money. As soon as I get a hint of you just, and it's not everything. It's not everybody. Because some people, I do let them waste my little bit of time. Because I'm trying to help them. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. But once I see that you're not elevating, you're not trying to better yourself and learn yourself, I gotta go. So I do give people chances. But you have to do the work. Everybody has to do the work. If you want to evolve. You don't have to evolve. You don't have to do shit. I'm just giving the tips. This is the shit I see. I just don't want people to be stressing themselves out over these social media shits. Like, stop identifying with shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. I don't identify as an angry black woman. I'm a black woman. I'm an indigenous woman. But I don't identify as an angry black woman. So if you identify with that, then yes, then you could get mad. But if you don't identify as that, why are you giving this man your energy? Stop doing it. Let it go. Just don't give it your attention. But yeah, you know, maybe James and Fuhad will learn something. And maybe they'll start learning themselves what's expected of them. Because they have expectations now. People is expecting things from you. So you're going to have to deliver if you want to keep their attention. So, you know, it was a learning lesson for everybody in the situation, I'm assuming. All right, y'all. I made this video long enough. I hope I got my point across. Learn yourself. Stop getting caught up in the social media shit. It's fun. It's entertaining, but don't let it consume you. Don't let it, you know, ruin your day. Don't identify with shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Stay tuned for the next videos. Peace.